All right, Podcast PD is live. Let the word get out. Let's see, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we're getting ready to record episode 152. This is the part of the show that does not make the podcast. But please, wherever you are watching from, let us know who you are, where you are, and if you got questions. We certainly got some things to talk about today, as we both scoured Reddit and we've got notes prepared for a little open Q&A. So if you are joining us live here on the stream, you can put questions in the chat, or I'm pretty sure you can go to podcastpd.com/join and you'd be able to join and ask your question, and we'll see what happens. We got somebody on the YouTube saying, "Hey, Chris. Hey, AJ at SRS091." And I could do this. Ka-chow. Little chats on there. So little chats will come up on the screen. New. Yeah. We're always evolving here on the program, AJ.
Woo.
Woo. All right. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. Let me click over to the buttons there, and here we go. Coming up on episode 152 of Podcast PD, AJ and I addressed educator questions from across the internet in a little thing we like to call AJ and Chris Explore Reddit. Let's start the show. This is Podcast PD, the show that provides you with anytime, anywhere professional development. Our conversations and guests will provide you with the learning you might get in a faculty meeting or on a PD day. Except you're going to have more fun with AJ Bianco and me, Chris Nesi. Let's start the show. What is going on, Podcast PD people? It is the end of October, the beginning of November. I'm Chris Nesi, and I'm joined by the podcast paisan, AJ Bianco. What's up, AJ?
What's going on, Christopher? The title gets me every time.
What do you mean?
I love it. It's just very simple. It is what it is. Yeah. Any questions? What's the episode about? Well, we're scrolling through Reddit.
That's right.
That's the story. That's all.
That's right.
That's all, folks.
Do want to say, I forgot to mention this the last two episodes that we did, but there was a listener who reached out to me, I want to say maybe in May or June. Okay. So we weren't producing episodes at that point. We were on a little bit of a hiatus. And the person asked if we offered PD certificates for listening to the podcast. And we do. So if you want to get professional development credit endorsed by AJ and myself, go to podcastpd.com/PDCert. PDCERT. And that'll take you to a Google form. You can mention the episode or episodes that you have listened to, and it will automatically produce a little PD certificate for your continuing education benefits. So if you want to get credit for listening, go to podcastpd.com/PDCert.
Evolving. I love it.
And the person watching SRS091 is the incomparable Steph Scrocky.
Oh,
now she's mentioning here.
I think you're checking on us.
She's mentioned in here in the chat that not sure why her name isn't showing up. So YouTube is doing this thing now where it's showing your @ username. So that's why it says SRS091. So I was in a live stream yesterday watching Ask the Podcast Coach, because that's what I do on Saturday mornings.
You do.
And in the chat, they were commenting about that. And, I was participating, and I noticed mine said @ Mr. Nesi. So that seems to be a new thing here on the YouTubes. So it's all good. How you been, buddy?
October's been very long. I'm gonna be honest with you.
This has been like a 2-month month.
Yeah, it's been long.
I thought Halloween was going to be like 2 weeks ago. It is still not Halloween yet.
It just feels like it's still going. I mean, it is still going. So I don't even know. Like, I don't know why it's been going on for so long. I mean, there was like one one day off, but it really was an off day for me. So like it's been a very long month, and like we didn't have any days off in September either. So I've basically been going since August, and it's a lot right now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to our New Jersey teacher convention. Even though like I'll be busy, but at least it's just like a little let the mind just go a different way for a little bit if I can.
Yeah. What about election day?
We don't have off for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I have teacher PD that day.
No, we don't have off for that. We have kids.
Shout out to Shane checking us out live. Shane is a former student of mine from when I student taught.
Whoa.
Checking us out on
That's
LinkedIn.
dope.
Thank you, Shane. All right. So, AJ, we said at the top of the show that in this episode, we'll certainly take viewer questions who may be joining us live. And I checked and I did not get any emails. I did send an email out to our email list and nobody responded to that. That's okay. So, I've got some topics from Reddit. Now, are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's take a couple of them. See what we got going on.
All right. Here's the headline.
What's going on in this education world that we have in?
This is from r/teachers. I'm 30 years old in my 4th year of teaching and on the verge of a mental breakdown. I need advice. I'll expand. I've spent my whole life wanting to be a teacher. I hold 2 master's degrees and have completed countless certified courses and trainings. Education has always been a central part of my identity. I genuinely believed I was born to do this. I'm currently employed at a local high school. The first 3 years were incredibly challenging. I spent hours meticulously preparing lesson plans filled with interactive, modern activities. But now there were always interruptions, slower working paces, and unexpected issues beyond my control. After 4 years of constant replanning and rethinking, I've burned out. So, what advice do we have for the 4th year teacher who is really hitting the skids here?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I need a little more information than just burning out, right? Like, I think that well, I'm going to put this one on you, Chris. So, like, when you think of burnout, right? As an educator, as a teacher specifically, what is causing the burnout, right? Is it planning? Is it teaching? What are the other demands, especially for this individual, like that they have on them? Because I understand burnout is real, but I think for me, not being in the classroom role, and I see my wife and I see you and I see my staff, and I know there's a lot that goes into it just because of the demands of the district and the demands of the state. But like, be real with me. I haven't been in a classroom now for 7 years. What's different pre-COVID from now that really causes burnout?
I think it is. I can't point my finger to one specific thing.
Sure,
still
of
being
course.
in the classroom, but I would say it is. I think it always comes back to the extra things that are, from the point of view of a teacher, that
Sure.
are put on teachers' plates.
Okay.
Right. So, from my point of view, when I'm in my classroom with my students, that is the easiest part of my day.
Without a doubt.
It's the other stuff that I have to deal with as a teacher. The meetings, the extra, what I term as busy work. When, for example, they're changing this year in my school what common planning time looks like, and they're kind of changing that model. And it's a lot of, from my point of view, it's a lot of busy work. I would rather have time to collaborate and really talk to the other teachers who are teaching world history or teaching language arts and just create a time and a space without so much guidance and so much direction, right? It's always the other extra things,
right,
that seem to create obstacles in my day.
I get you. Like, look, I know like every administrator is different, every district is different, so I know the demands are quite well, I guess just different, right? So like, are you supposed to do? Oh, no, my mom wants to go. Are you supposed to be doing, like constant lesson plans? Are you supposed to be doing, like your PDP, SGO, like if you're a tenured teacher, like for you, right? Are you just analyzing data constantly?
No, I'm not analyzing data at all. I mean, I take in data, but I'm not, looking at, tons of test scores and things of that nature. Being a social studies teacher, and you have this background as well, AJ, not having to deal with the stressors of being a standardized tested subject. I'm, I'm glad I'm not a math teacher. I'm glad I'm not an English or a language arts teacher. So, I mean, there's all kinds of things that interfere.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Because I like lost everything.
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
Okay, I couldn't hear anything that was going on. I honestly lost everything. So can you go back to the last thing you were saying?
I was just talking about how I'm so thankful that I teach social studies, which is not a standardized tested subject,
Sure.
right? So I don't analyze data,
Yeah.
right? I'm not really looking at test scores. I'm not like, I worry about my students' grades, right? And that will help me identify, students who need extra support because I'm like looking at their work, but that's all. I'm looking at qualitative information and looking at what they're writing, but I'm not going knee
Right.
deep into the numbers.
Right. And look, I think there is, a little bit of ease from us as like social studies teachers, when we're doing that. And I think who have it the most, like special ed teachers, like the demands on a special ed teacher is just nutty because there's so many magic words. So I'm not sure this individual, did you say this person was a special ed teacher? Or did they say
No,
what they were?
they don't say.
They don't say. They said high school. They just said
High
high
school.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I don't know, I've never taught. I mean, I taught in high school once, but like I don't know what's different between high school, middle school, elementary school. I'm not sure how that plays in, but like it's very easy for teachers to burn out. You know,
Yeah. Well,
it
this
is all that
teacher is
extra stuff.
also. They also go on in their post. They're also talking about some uh, some classes they're also taking in the evening. So
Okay, see
for
that's
for this
different too
person,
now.
right, there's other factors. So this might be somebody who is maybe going for additional degree work,
Right.
and sometimes you got to look at your life and realize I can only control the things I can control, and sometimes maybe you're spreading yourself too thin. Right? I look at some teachers and you wonder, and I think some people look at me at times and think, well, how do you have time to do all the things that you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I always tell people I only take on what I can handle,
Mm-hmm.
but I think other people take on too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You
So,
you got you got to pick and choose what works for you, right? If you're taking classes, coaching probably isn't the right thing for you. If you're starting a family and like, oh, maybe now is a good time to go for my extra credits, probably the best time for you. Like I know in like 4 years, you want to establish yourself, but it sounds like this person had a really rough 3 years prior. So I think this person needs to really sit and figure out where the difficulties were in those first 3 years because there's something, maybe it's the school, maybe it's the setup of what they teach, maybe it's something that they're missing, that this is not the best place for them because the demands are too much for what they're trying to do in their personal life and in their career.
yeah. And as
So
always,
it's revisiting what works for you, and no matter what, like, go ahead.
no, I was going to say maybe also consider with the courses or any other extracurriculars you have on, take a step back and examine your work life balance, right? If you feel like
Mm-hmm.
you're burned out and you don't have time for things, then maybe you have to say no to some things or not go as heavy into taking extra classes or taking on extra responsibilities. Maybe you just got to be intentional about making time that is true downtime so you can feel
Mm-hmm.
like you can decompress or you've got a hobby you can work on, right? Or just something where you can kind of take your mind off the stressors of the job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to find what works for you. You have to, because
Yeah.
you got, what is it? You have to. put your own mask on before somebody else.
That's right. You
Right.
can't help anybody else until you help yourself. Um, Before we get into the next topic, let's see. Shane, my former student, he's big in the entertainment industry, and he's got a photo booth business, and he's all sorts of entertaining awesomeness. And his company Milestone will be at the NJEA convention coming up in November, and he's partnered with Seton Hall University. So if you are going to the NJEA convention, go stop by the Milestone booth, and I'm sure he's got the 360 camera, and you can have a good time and things like that. So yeah.
That's awesome.
And actually, Shane brings up a great point. He says, I wonder if there are AI tools that this person can use to ease their workflow. I know that is hard, but perhaps organizing your workflow and finding ways to delegate certain parts to AI could be beneficial. Oh, yeah. AI has changed my life as a teacher. There are so many things that I will leverage ChatGPT or Gemini or any number of other tools that just take things off my plate. I don't do a lot of the stuff that you can automate. So I'm not having AI go out and do things on my
Yeah.
behalf.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
if I need a rubric or I need something written, I'm going there. Right. And then I can tweak it. But
Yeah.
coming up with things from scratch, I'm done with that.
Yeah. Look, I mean, look, I'm coming up with things from scratch. I use it daily. Like I'll have like something like bullet pointed. Well, is that right? Bullet pointed, bullet noted,
Sure.
jotted. Whatever. Have it in bullet form, and I'm like, I need this now in paragraphs. Like because I have the ideas. I don't like the way it sounds for me. So I've been using it to just kind of, I guess, help me with my writing. Because I do a lot of that stuff
And
every
even
day.
for this person, throw in all your problems and say,
Right.
help make me a schedule.
Oh my gosh.
A little
I
time
mean, look, yeah,
management.
Shane's onto something because like if you just ask, like if you tell ChatGPT to be your personal assistant and like you need to be, you need somebody who's going to help plan, or there was a prompt that I used recently. Um, I want to actually tell you exactly what it was. Let's see. It was my purpose driven routine, right? And I asked ChatGPT straight up. The prompt was, and I think everybody would like this prompt, right? It really makes a big difference in your life. And it was telling me I have to like get a whiteboard and all that stuff. It's like I said, you are my elite performance coach. I said, ask me questions one at a time about my day, my bottlenecks, and my goals. Once you have this intel, prescribe me one high impact habit with a science backed reason that will transform my life, and give me tips that will transform my life. So, like, you need somebody to plan for you. There you go. You got an elite coach right there at your fingertips.
How often are you using that prompt? Is that
A
daily?
prompt like that?
No, that
No,
prompt. You say you've got this prompt.
that prompt was a one-time prompt, and it laid out things for me. Like it went through questions. Like we went through a variety of questions. I didn't ask the questions. It asked me the questions. Like one question was, what time did you wake up today? What was the first thing you did? Uh, did you oversleep? How was your quality of sleep? And then a couple of more sleep questions. Then it got going. What goal or mission is driving you the most right now? So like, what do you do to feel mentally sharp? So there was 12 questions, and then from that it broke down a high impact habit every morning, why it works, tips to actually stay and stick with it. And then it continued talking. Like I was like, okay, so like, do you want me to make a schedule? And then we started doing schedules. Like, what does your morning look like? And it really started digging in and asking me questions. Like I was actually having like a real coach at my fingertips who's trying to help me. Now, this was like a long prompt, and there was a lot of scheduling involved, and it was giving me tips of like, do you use a planner? Do you want a planner? I can create you a printable planner. I can give you a digital planner. Like, what do you like? How about this for your routines? And it was really cool. Like, so it was a one-time thing, but it helped me with a plan so that I can look at it and really like, time block and box out everything that I need to do in a daily day.
Hopefully, I mean, because I use AI to put together the show notes for podcasts now, I would like to think that it's going to be able to, and if it doesn't, I will dig into the transcript and I will have it pull your prompt out and make it a part of the show notes. So make
Yeah.
sure if you're listening to the podcast of this, you go to podcastpd.com/152 and you should be able to see AJ's prompt and you should be able to copy and paste it out of the show notes. And actually,
Yeah.
I'm going to try something here.
Go ahead.
ChatGPT, when you get to this part of the transcript, go back based on the prompt and pull out AJ's prompt. We're going to see what happens now. See if there's like wizardry involved.
Wizardry.
And the biggest part of what you said is you asked the AI to ask you questions. So you gave it more input.
Yep.
That's key. That's key to making this work.
Yeah. And I use that now later on. It's like, based on what you know about me, like reshape my, help me write this based on what you know about me, my thoughts, feelings, my, my goals, my actions. Like, because I have two accounts, right? I have my personal account and I have one for school, because I don't want to combine the two, because the things I ask ChatGPT to do outside of school are very different than what I want to do inside of school.
Right. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right. So that was just the first topic. The next one's not so heavy. Ready to move into the next one?
Let's go to the next one.
All right, here you go. Here's the question from r/teachers. How do I run a parent-teacher conference? It's that time of year. Would you agree, AJ?
It is that time of year, only a couple weeks away.
All right, so here is the full response. Short. First-year teacher here. I have 5 parent-teacher conferences scheduled coming up with a translator. I have their AR scores, successes, areas of concern, and homework completion. What else do I talk about? Should I pull out / print out sample work? I only have 20 minutes per parent.
It's a lot of time.
That is a lot of time. I run 10-minute conferences.
Yeah, that's what a lot of my teachers and my kids' teachers have too.
Here's my thoughts, and then I'll let you put together your thoughts, AJ, because you've been out of classroom a little bit. So my deal with parent-teacher conferences is I lean heavily on my retail experience. Parent-teacher conferences is that opportunity where it's customer service, right? I work for the kids. I work for those parents and families providing an education to their child. So I am going to let them know how their child is doing. The good, the bad, the ugly, because you've got to be honest. And I start each conference by saying, because a lot of parents that I talk to, they want to know their kid's grade, right? Yeah. How are they doing? How is their grade? And I always say, I'm happy to tell you the grade. It is this, but the grade doesn't tell the whole story.
Sure.
So I had some conferences recently. We had our first conferences of the year. And I've got some students who, meeting your parents for the first time, were coming in. You've been in school for 7 weeks. You've been in high school for 7 weeks, right? Because I teach 9th graders. And telling some of these parents, yeah, your kid currently has an F or your kid has a C. And like they're looking at their kid. And then I explain like how my class works. Project-based learning, no tests, no quizzes, no homework, the whole thing. And, it's about time management. And here's what your kid can do to be successful. And I tell, because it's easy early in the year to say, yeah, your kid might have an F right now in the middle to end of October, but they're missing one assignment that they haven't turned in. And if they turn in that assignment, which I will still allow them to do, their grade goes from an F to an A, right? Or they're going from a C to an A. So it's a matter of just reinforcing to the parents, what can your child do to be successful? Now, something I also do differently at the high school level that you're probably not going to do elementary or even middle school is when parents say, oh, if there's any problems, reach out to me, whether it's through email or talking points. I let parents know, yes, if anything serious or really, bad, for lack of better words, happens with your child, yes, I'm going to reach out to you. But for the little day-to-day stuff, grades, assignments, I'm going to deal directly with your child because they're in high school now. And part of what I want your 9th grader to learn how to do is to be more responsible and more accountable for their education. And it's all done through this lens of customer service. Like, I'm here to work for you, and this is the service I'm providing you to help your kid.
Yeah, I think you have the right approach for it, and this person obviously saying that they are a first year teacher, so like they're definitely nervous about a conference, and it's something. Look, it's like an observation, right? As long as you are planned and ready to go, and you feel good about everything you're presenting, you shouldn't have to worry about an observation. You shouldn't have to worry about a conference. You know, if you're going into a conference thing, it's going to be a negative experience, and you're going to go in there timid, and you're going to have problems from the start, right? So I think for this person, and it sounds like, with your customer service background and your preparation for this, you kind of tackle the things you want to bring forward. And it sounds like this teacher also does, and they have an idea as to what they want to discuss. Should they talk about everything that they're talking about? No. You want to show student work, I guess, but it sounds like this is like an elementary teacher. Then that's going to go home with them. They're going to get student work. So I feel like this is more like a time of like, here's what I see. Here's what we should discuss. Do you have any questions? I think that's how I've handled parent teacher conferences in the past. And that's how I handle conferences with parents now. Like, it's more of like, you're here. What do you want to know? Here's what I can tell you. Is there anything else that you're curious about? Because you don't want to just fill time.
Yeah. And actually, that's the other thing that I also start with. What questions do you have for me? Because then that lets me know what is you as a parent hoping to get out of this conference, or what, maybe you haven't reached out to me yet. What are you bringing to the table or the desk?
Yeah. And you're going to have those parents who reach out all the time. So it's going to be just a continued conversation.
Yeah. And you know what? It goes back to this whole idea of it takes a village. Like, I am here to partner with you, the parent, to make sure your child is successful. We need to work together. So I make that very clear that it's all about your child, right? Got to get you ready for the next thing.
You are correct with that.
And Stephanie also reminds us that they also have a translator, so that time is going to go very quickly. Remember to talk to the parent, not the translator.
That's a great tip.
I deal with that too, because I teach a lot of Spanish speaking students and have Spanish speaking parents. Sure. So a lot of times the student is right there. So I will talk to the child and I will look at the parent, and then the child is translating, and it's kind of, it's different, right? When the person you're making eye contact with doesn't understand you, and you're waiting and relying on a student sometimes to do that translation.
Yeah, you never know. You never know if you can trust that student, right?
Well, I know enough Spanish that I can pick up.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
I'm saying that. I'm just clarifying.
No, I'm saying, you look at the kid. I didn't just say that. You're making things up.
Oh, okay. All right. Anything else on parent-teacher conferences?
They're tough, but I don't think they have to be. I think, this person, obviously, like I said, first year, they'll be a little nervous, but go in there with confidence. You're the kid's teacher. You know best. And, it should be all right for you.
Yeah. All right. Here's a lighter one. You're going to like this. Ready? From r/teachers once again. Here we go. Here is the headline question. Quote, am I being an ass or teaching a valuable lesson when I deduct points when 8th graders don't put their names on their papers? Want me to take this one?
Go ahead. I'm curious what you would say. I have my thoughts here.
To you, the teachers who deduct points for not putting names on papers, you're an ass. Find out whose it is. Find out whose it is. What are we taking points off for? Which goes to this whole thing that I subscribe to. Putting your name or not the name on the paper, the points are a reflection of your learning, and that's what the grade is for. Not putting your name on the paper doesn't mean you should get a 98 and not 100 or whatever you're doing. Because if the work is still the work and the work is done, but we're missing a name, you're an ass. Sorry, not sorry. AJ, what do you think?
You're an ass, but I appreciate the accountability. I got to be honest with you. Like, I appreciate the accountability. So
I
that's
just
first
don't
and
agree with
foremost.
tying it to the grade.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. I don't think it's right to take points off for the lack of name, because I'm sure at this point of your year, you can tell which student does not have the paper, right? And you can tell the handwriting a little bit. So, like, if you got all but one kid who didn't turn in the work, I think you know who it belongs to. I think
Right?
there's a different way you can have that conversation, especially with an eighth grader. You know, we want them to grow up, but we want them to learn. But how many things in each day do you put your name on?
Yeah. Internet, what say you? But that's what I think. And
Yeah.
I think we're on the same page, AJ.
Look, look. I appreciate the accountability, because what I used to do, I used to hold up.
So I would love to be able to say what AJ is saying, but I don't read lips and his sound isn't coming through. So I'm just going to yap and talk. While he's trying to figure that out, let me say the following as we're about halfway through and we're going to get close to the end of this episode. If you are enjoying what we do here on Podcast PD with these monthly episodes and episodes like this, or we're going to have some great guests coming up to finish the year and get into January. If you want to become an executive producer of Podcast PD, go to podcastpd.com/executive producer. Now, Stephanie used to be an executive producer, but something happened with our executive producer platform. So, Stephanie, I don't know if you realize it or not, but you're not an executive producer because that platform went away. But if you go to podcastpd.com/executive producer, you can support Podcast PD. You can support us on a monthly basis or a yearly basis. And anybody who supports us, we will send you an exclusive Podcast PD executive producer sticker for your laptop or your tumbling mug. And if you support us for the year, we will send you a t-shirt. I think we'll throw in a hat. You get the sticker and also a Podcast PD mug for supporting what we do here. And Stephanie's in the chat. She says, I was wondering what happened. You didn't wonder enough to ask, but no, that's okay. She didn't reach out. No. So, Steph, if you want to re-up, we would love to have your support. And if you're listening and you only listen to the podcast piece, consider supporting a podcast that's bringing you value and making you laugh, cry, think, or groan. I don't know. AJ, is your audio back?
I have no idea.
Yes, it is. There we go.
All right. Beautiful.
All right. I got another one that'll make you laugh. Ready?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this is real or not, but hey, why not? It's on Reddit. Who knows? Again, from r/teachers. Here's the headline. I'm rich and want to be a teacher.
Is his name Rich?
No. Here's what it says. Hi, everyone. Here's some background. I'm 30 years old and I just exited a startup that I founded. My personal net worth is now in the mid 8 figures, and I've been thinking about what I want to do with the rest of my life. After a lot of reflection, I think I want to become a teacher. I come from an immigrant culture that views teaching as quite a noble profession, and that's probably impacting me a little here. But I do believe that educating the next generation is incredibly important for the future of our country, and I would be honored to contribute to it. I have 2 bachelor's degrees and a graduate degree from a top school, and my understanding is that I would need to do an additional certification. Ideally, I would also like to teach high school. I'm located in California. I guess I just wanted to get some of your guys' perspective here. What do y'all think?
I'm just going to stare at you for a minute.
Here's my thoughts.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Go ahead, let's be a teacher. You've got an education, you've got life experience. Maybe this person wants to teach CTE courses, maybe in computer science, or maybe they have entrepreneurial experience and they have business experience, and that's the kind of teacher they want to be. They don't say what they want to teach, but I would say somebody who's got life experience, I welcome it.
I don't know anymore, man. I don't know. Like, it's so different now. It's so different. I hate to say, I've been doing this for 21 years, and I'm looking to go the other way.
You want to get into an 8-figure income?
I would love
Net
to get into
worth?
the 8-figure income. Um, yeah, sure, give it a shot. Go for it. Go for it. I mean, look, maybe because they have no expectation, it'll be better for them. But if they're seeing this as like a noble profession, they out their mind because other people don't see it as a noble profession.
No, they don't.
So it's glad that you see it that way.
Remember during the pandemic when we were heroes?
Yes, that lasted like a month, and then August came and like these kids better go back to school.
Yeah, right. Uh, that was also the heyday of this very program. I was looking back a couple weeks ago. Do you realize we used to have lots of people come to our live streams during the pandemic and
We
watch
used
and
to,
contribute?
yeah,
That's hot.
we used to.
What's up, Al?
He's a doctor now.
Dr. Al.
That's my gift for you tonight.
Yeah, Dr. Al.
Dr. Al.
We got to get him on the show and talk about his doctoral research.
Cool. We're going to have lots of guests coming up.
We sure will. Maybe
Actually,
bread on the back burger.
I think it's safe to say we're looking to bring on Rich Chiz at the end of November.
Yes,
He's got a new book out that
sure does.
we should get the opportunity to peruse and have him on to talk about that. That may be a book you find valuable. I think it has to do with
might.
administration and being on autopilot. So a lot of tips and tricks in there.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. Let's see. Do we want one more? Or do
Let's
you want to
go
call it a day?
one more.
One more. Okay. All right, here we go. This will be a good one because it is Sunday. From r/teachers, here's the headline. How to survive? ?
Zombie apocalypse.
First year, and I'm working most weeknights /Sunday. I know it should be, quote, don't work outside of your contract hours, end quote. But it's hard since I have to plan everything since my curriculum sucks. I'm always exhausted.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Welcome to teaching. Like, there's no other word for that.
Welcome to teaching. Yeah. Yeah. I
don't
mean,
even
look
know,
at us. We are
yeah.
outside of contract time podcasting on a Sunday night.
Yeah. I mean, my Sundays were like, without kids, watch a football game, lesson plans on the counter, plan during the game, and then have dinner and start the day. Like that was Sunday. That's what that was. So like, I worked better at home than I did in school.
It was actually funny. The other night we had our parent teacher conferences and, evening session went from 6 to 8. So the mass exodus happens at, 8 o'clock. Everybody's leaving the building for the night. And I was walking out with my new building principal and she looks at me, she goes, and I was just like nothing in my hands, no jacket, just leaving for the night. She's like, Mr. Nesi, have a good night. You don't take any work with home with you? I said, nope. I was like, everything is either done or will get done. And we had a good laugh. So she wasn't like being critical of me not bringing work home, but it's just like, again, it comes back to time management.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. If you don't want to work outside of your contract hours, then you need to be really, really efficient during your contract hours.
Right.
You have to leverage your prep period for prep. It can't be gossip time.
Right.
It can't be run out to Wawa and get coffee time. You've got to actually do work. And maybe this person is, but then maybe you got to kind of reevaluate how much work are you putting in. Now, it might take a lot of work, but yes, that's what you signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I think a lot of teachers do what they have to do. At least the good ones do. If you're a bad teacher, I mean, then you're not doing anything outside of contract hours and you're going to suck at your job because whatever.
Right.
And we all know people like that for sure.
Of course.
But
especially for this person year one, like they need to master the content. They need to master their curriculum. They have to be very knowledgeable. So this is the year to do it. Like get your things done, work hard. Next year, you make a couple edits. Year 3, year 4, you're breezing through, and this is not how you're going to feel.
Then you're that person from earlier in the show that you're burned out after 4 years.
Right. Well,
but
if you're doing
it
things
should get
the same
easier.
Way.
It should
right,
get
it really
easier.
Should. It really should. It really should. It will, for everybody. We'll get back to that point again.
Yes. All right. Well, AJ, I enjoyed this conversation. It's always fun to go down the Reddit rabbit hole with you.
Yes, I enjoy it. I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think of the things that are out there for everybody.
Oh, and these are just the things that I could pull into the show.
Sure, of course.
There's lots of other fun things on Reddit
I can only imagine.
The education and teaching space that I would not talk about on this program. And it's not even me or you.
Yeah. Maybe one day you'll have an X-rated version of PodcastPD.
You got me. Oh, boy. All right. So that's going to do it for episode 152. If you have thoughts on the things that we brought up, shoot us an email, feedback@podcastpd.com. You can also hit AJ and I on Blue Sky. I'm at Mr. Nesi on Blue Sky. He is at AJ Bianco on Blue Sky. We're both still on Twitter, Instagram. You can find us. Send us an email. Let us know your thoughts. And we will be back at the end of November with episode 153. And as of right now, we are hoping to be able to bring on the Rich Chiz, who's been on the program before. He's from 4 O'Clock Faculty. And if not, tune in and you will see what we do at the end of November. Until then, happy Halloween. Enjoy the rest of October because that's still happening.
It's still going.
Still going. And we will talk to you before Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving, yes, sir. The American Thanksgiving.
Yes, we'll be knee deep in Mariah Carey territory by that time.
Oh, no, we will not.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Wave goodbye, say goodbye. And thank you to Stephanie and Shane for checking in on the live chat.
Thank you, listeners. We'll speak soon.